There's a sense of deja vu in my interview today here in Geneva with Dr. Mohammad Javad Larijani, head of Iran's High Council for Human Rights. Nearly 2 years ago, I interviewed him about extensive violation of human rights in Iran in the hands of government-sponsored agencies and the judiciary. He promised change. Nearly 2 years on, latest reports by the United Nations and Amnesty International are filled with cases of human rights abuse. Dr. Larijani, over the past year, there have been 900 cases of execution. A number of them were juveniles who were merely children at the time of offense.
Executions in Iran, it is done by the law. The point is that 90% of these cases are stemming from narcotic-related crimes.
Currently, according to Amnesty International, 160 juveniles are under death sentence. Some of them have been under death sentence for 7 years. How do you think it's like to grow up under the death sentence?
Well, first of all, there is a big difference conceptually between a child and a juvenile.
17 is still considered underage according to the International
but it's not a
Covenant
child.
of Human
The point is that a juvenile is a person could be quite close in a few months to become legally a grown-up person. A person, if he's under the age of 18, by default, who won't give the capital punishment, unless exceptions. The judge considers him apt enough to carry the responsibility of his deed.
How is it possible that a judge could rule that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, this person, under those circumstances, in that condition, had maturity of mind or not?
Well, the ruling may not be just starting after 3 years, because when the crime is happening, then again, immediately the judicial process starts. In some cases, in most of the cases, they need a psychologist, a doctor to physically and mentally check the person.
Let me give you the case of Salman Nassim, who was arrested at the age of 17 and executed at 18 last year. His crime was enmity against God. My question to you is that, can't God fend for himself against a child?
This is a title. The title means that there are a number of crimes which can receive capital punishment. Salman Nassim, unfortunately, was caught on terrorist activity, in fact.
Dr. Larijani, in all fairness, didn't you make mistakes when you were 16, 17 and 18 that you regret today when you think of them?
I make mistakes. I say, oh God, I wish I didn't do that. The system of punishment in Iran is not based on revenge. It's for rehabilitation.
Is that why juveniles are executed?
No, for that reason, there are a lot of exemptions for them. One of the exceptions is their involvement in the terrorist activity.
Let me move to another area, freedom of expression. Now, Facebook is blocked. Bloggers are routinely arrested and imprisoned, and any faint criticism of the system or the supreme leader would end up to severe punishment.
Well, absolute freedom of speech is not reasonable and not warranted everywhere. People can criticize all sides of the government from bottom up on the issue of their decision, on the issue of governance, on the policies.
Let me move to the elections. The results of recent elections show that moderates and reformists have gained majority in the parliament. But it's rather academic because it's the Guardian Council that has the ultimate say and the right of veto over all laws passed by the Parliament, and the Guardian Council consists of conservatives, which actually in practice renders the Parliament irrelevant.
The role of Guardian is not intervening in the decision. They have only two things to check: whether this law is against the Constitution, whether it is against the explicit dictums of Islam. The Council of Guardian is a complementary element only to see whether the law is in congruence with the Constitution or not.
Let me move further to the economy. Now, Iran is opening its doors to contracts with major international energy firms like British Petroleum and Royal Dutch. Now, why is it that these negotiations are taking place behind closed doors and in absolute secrecy? You know, oil is a national wealth. Every drop of it belongs to the people of Iran. Why is it that they shouldn't be informed about the terms of the sale of their wealth?
Well, first of all, it is the duty of the government to make the deal. And while the government is negotiating a deal, I don't think it is usual that to make it public.
People are entitled to that, and if they don't, then that would leave negotiators and Iranian authorities open to the accusation of bribery and corruption.
Bribery is a part of the corruption, which you can find it everywhere in the world. So we are not immune of bribery, either if they are made public or not. So the system should have good check and balance to fight bribery and corruption.
Is there such system in place in Iran at the moment?
Yes, we are fighting corruption very strongly, but corruption is an international disease, it's a global disease. And we cannot eradicate that, but you can minimize it, you can control it.
You're also a top advisor on foreign affairs to the Supreme Leader. Could you tell me why is it that over the past couple of weeks, Iran has withdrawn almost all of its boots in the Syrian theater and only left 700 military advisors there? What deal have you made with other players in the region?
We never sent soldiers over there. Yes, we are doing the same help for the safeguarding the sovereignty and integrity of Syria.
Where has it left you, your relationship with Turkey and Saudi Arabia?
We cannot escape from being neighbors. We are capable to defend ourselves, but it's not enough. We should keep the region from turmoil. It's sinking in turmoil.
And briefly, let's talk about ISIL. ISIL has been rather useful. It sells the oil that otherwise could not be easily sold in the market for various reasons, sanctions and others. It's got its own banks to facilitate financial transactions. So basically, if the coalition wanted to destroy ISIL, including Iran, it would be an easy job.
Well, I think what you're saying is an irony about this reality which is over there. There are parasites which is created to pursue political and also economical incentives. So this is a new situation, but I believe those who created this Daesh, funded them, supported them, will pay a high price. Being United States, being Britain, or being local countries. This does not have a good payoff.
Dr. Larijani, thank you.
Thank you very much.